but God, goats, and guitars have helped me get through.
Oh, who is that woman on the air with me this afternoon? That is the one and only E.G. Kight. She is an American Chicago blues singer. How that happens when you're from Dublin, Georgia is beyond me. But she's also worked with a lot of great musicians, including George Jones, Jerry Lee Lewis. Of course, we saw Linda Gale Lewis the other night over there at the Fiddle and Bow. Conway Twitty, Merle Haggard, Luther Allison, Pinetop Perkins, B.B. King, Coco Taylor. My great pleasure to introduce to you this afternoon the one and only E.G. Kight. How are you doing, E.G.?
I'm doing good.
It's so good to... What happened to you? There you are. It's so good to have you with us here this afternoon.
Yeah.
We're gonna go ahead and get her up there. There she is on the big screen. Let's see if we can give her a full view. Looks like you're in a lovely office there this afternoon.
Yeah, I'm on the road. I'm at a friend's house. I'm playing in Tennessee.
Yeah.
So,
Tennessee. Well, you of course.
I played Chattanooga last night and Nashville's Friday. So.
Wow, you're on the move.
I'm on the move.
What keeps you motivated to keep moving, E.G.?
I think it's just the love of music and the love of connecting with my fans and friends, making friends. It's something I have to do.
Something you have to do. Well, you've been doing it for a good while. What did I see? You learned the guitar at age 5, is that right?
Something like that. My grandmother taught me. She kept me from my parents to work. And I was brought up in a musical family.
Yeah.
My mama sang gospel. My uncles had bands, and grandma played. So I was around it all my life.
Did you ever have any ideas of doing anything else or anything different?
Well, I tried. Early in life, I tried to do something else, and I'd always go right back to music. So I finally just jumped into it, and I've been at it a long time now.
Well, I guess so. Now, who's been your biggest influence in your life as far as music?
Well, my biggest influence was probably my family to start off with. They got me started in it. My uncle, my mama's brother, had a band, and they'd practice at grandma's house. And when I was very young, and I would just be in awe.
How'd you get into the blues? That's what I want to know, because that was country and gospel, wasn't it?
That was country and gospel. It was, and I was in that for a number of years until I heard Coco Taylor. And she really influenced me and caused me to jump into the blues. And I've been in the blues now a good while and never looked back, and have had a ball.
You know, Linda Gale Lewis said, she plays more rock and roll. She said when she heard Wanda Jackson, it was all over for her. That was the direction she was going to go. And she'd been, with Jerry Lee Lewis, and she was finding her own way at this time. And she goes, when I heard her sing, "Some people gotta rock," it was all over.
Well, I tell you, that's how I was when I heard Coco Taylor.
For real?
I was doing more country at that time, and country was kind of changing, and I didn't particularly care for the direction it was headed.
Right.
And I was just kind of at a crossroads with it, and somebody suggested that I listen to her. And when I did, I thought, my God, who is this woman? I want me some of that. I want to feel that. I could feel her music, and I could tell she was feeling it and made me feel it, and that's what I like.
Well, you have been, you are terrific. You have done a lot of recordings, like when I introduced you, B.B. King, Conway Twitty.
It's a mixture.
I mean, quite a group. And I was reading that when you were like 15 or so, you moved to Chicago?
No, I never moved from Georgia. I've traveled a lot, but I never moved from Georgia. I just couldn't leave.
You couldn't leave Georgia?
No.
Got Georgia on my mind, right?
That Georgia stays on my mind, yeah.
I saw a picture on your Facebook page. You've got goats?
I do have pet goats, and that's where that song came from. I went through some traumatic experiences the last few years, and people ask me, say, how do you stay positive and smiling and singing? How do you feel like doing all like that? I say the 3 Gs, God, goats, and guitars. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I had like encephalitis and meningitis, and then after not long after that, I got attacked by some dogs. So it was just one thing by another. But I came through it, and I'm still smiling. But God, goats, and guitars helped get me through it.
I understand the God. I could understand the guitar, but how do goats get you through it?
Well, my pet goats have helped me a lot. When I get stressed, I go see the goats. They're stress relievers, and I think everybody has to find their own goats, their God goats and guitars. I mean, people have to have a something that soothes their soul when they get in, go through things. And if you live, you're gonna go through things. So
Absolutely.
everybody's got to find their own God goats and guitars.
Now,
But let me tell you this: that background singer you heard a while ago was my 90. She was 90 or 91 at the time she did that vocal. That's my mama doing the background vocal.
oh my gosh, that is wild.
Let me tell you how that came about. This is really interesting. I have a microphone at home that was the same as the one in the studio, so I was doing some of my vocals at home. Well, she's in there cooking, frying chicken or something. And I said, "Can you come here just a minute?" And I said, "When I say God, goats, and guitar, could you sing harmony with that?" "Well, I don't have time." And she'd been to the beauty shop, so she wouldn't put the headphones on here. She put them on the front like that, keep from messing up her hair.
Well, there's a good idea. Yeah.
And so so she did it right quick, God, goats, and guitars, the background. And so when it came out, I said, "That's you singing on it." She said, "Why didn't you tell me? I would have paid more attention to what I was doing." but, but I got her on it.
That's very cool. That's got to be really special then to you.
Oh, it is. It is.
Now, you write a lot of music, a lot of your own music, correct?
I do. Yes.
I guess what do you find inspiration in? Everything?
Everything. Everything in my life, my friends' life, something I hear on TV, something I read. You can get ideas all over the place.
That's true. That's true. So,
Hmm.
so what's your latest thing you're working on?
Well, right now I'm working on one cause it's a blues song called "If You Can't Stand the Heat, Get Out of My Kitchen."
Did you tell that to somebody recently?
I think I have told some people that.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Well, I think that people are in for a treat. What do you want people to take away when they come to your concert or come to where you're playing? What do you like people to take away from?
Well, I want them to take away joy. I want them to have joy and take it home with them. That's the biggest thing I think I want to do is make people feel good, make them smile. So I hope that they'll take something home with them that they'll enjoy and remember.
Absolutely. Now you've been here to Greenwood twice, I think, for the Blues
I have,
Cruise.
yeah.
That's quite an event here, isn't it?
Wow, I tell you, I think I did. There was 2 or 3 times I did 2 concerts in a day. Yeah, they kept me moving,
Yeah.
but I met some wonderful people there. I sure did, and I look forward to going back.
Absolutely. Well, you're going to be back here on March 12th at the Inn on the Square. I've got the Bourbon guys sitting here just as soon as I finish with you. We're going to be talking to Wesley Timmerman and Tom Dorn about bourbon. That sounds like a good thing.
That sounds blues and bourbon. You
That's
can't
right.
go wrong.
And you can wear your boots too if
And
you
you
want.
can wear your boots. Yeah, you can kick your heels up.
That's right. That's right. Well, now who else is in your band? Who will be coming with you?
My trio, in fact, that's who you hear playing on my last 2 CDs. That's Gary Porter on drums and Ken Wynn on guitar and dobro, and Gary plays harp. They do a lot of harmony with me. I think they'll really enjoy it.
Well, I think they do. I've seen you. I saw you last summer, I think it was, at upstairs in T.W. Boone's. I came over and we chatted for a minute.
That's
Yes,
right.
that's
That's right.
right. So, anyways, this is going to be really cool. People got to come out. What do you want to tell the folks about coming to this event on March 12th?
Just come on down and enjoy yourself for a while. We're going to have a large time.
A large time, absolutely. So, E.G., it's been so nice to talk to you. I got to ask you one more question. How many goats do you have?
I have 9 right now.
9.
9.
Do you need not? Do you need 9?
No, I don't need 9, but it's hard to get rid of your baby, your kids.
Your kids,
How do you choose which kid to get rid of?
And are they standard goats or pygmy goats or?
They're mixed.
They're mixed.
They're just goats, but they're beautiful.
They're goats. Well,
Especially
I enjoy your song, song, God, Goats, and Guitars, and I'm glad we got to play it. I'm also very glad we got to talk to you this afternoon, and we'll be looking forward to seeing you on the 12th, March 12th.
It won't be long, and I'll see y'all.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, E.G., for joining us right here on WCRS.
Enjoy talking to you.
All right. You have a good one. Bye-bye.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Well, that was E.G., and now I am going to be back here, I think. I'm going to try to put my own self back up here on it. Let's see. Where am I? There I am. And I'm right here. And this afternoon, after having E.G. and playing a little blues music for you, I've got a real special treat because I have Wesley Timmerman, who is we billed him as a bourbon connoisseur. After talking to him, I'm not sure he's so much of a connoisseur, but a lover of bourbon. Would that be appropriate, maybe? I don't know. But Wesley is, he has, in 2004, moved back to Greenwood. He has his lovely wife, Angie, and they have 12 grandchildren. How did that happen? He's a big game hunter. He's hunted across the United States, Canada, and Africa, totaling over 40 hunts. He started having an avid interest in bourbon, and we will find out from the next guest why he has this avid interest in bourbon, and has since visited numerous distilleries in Kentucky, attended tastings, and he retired from SCDOT and now works for Davis and Floyd. It is my great pleasure to say hello, Wesley. How you doing this afternoon?
Hello, Ann. We're good.
Good to have you here. And then I have Tom Dorn with us. Tom was raised in Saluda, and he graduated from the South Carolina University of South Carolina. He's an engineer, and he enjoys hunting, fishing, and playing golf. He's gone skydiving twice, once with his grandfather, 70 at the time, and you survived a shark attack. On top of that, I guess you need to like bourbon, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So, how did you get a shark attack?
We were at Litchfield Beach for vacation, and my wife, who is not a big ocean swimmer, both of my kids are, Emma and Luke, and I had Luke in the water with me, and a lady came up and told my wife she thought they saw a spotted shark down the beach. So she told us to get out frantically. I was less worried. My son was on a boogie board, and I pushed him in as he caught the wave. I thought I stepped on a crab until it started shaking, and I kicked it off and started going back and unsure about the damage. I was expecting to pull a stub out of the water. However, it was just a bite on the foot, and I walked up to my wife and I said, I think I've been bitten by a shark. And she said, you're joking, and looked down and saw all the blood. And she immediately started walking away, picked up her phone, and the first person she called was Wesley to get some advice on what to do next. And,
she didn't call 911.
No, not 911. So, and I still had to pick up the beach chairs and carry them back. So it wasn't terrible, but
it qualifies.
It does.
It qualifies. It qualifies. And how was skydiving with your grandfather?
It was amazing. I'd went, and he wanted to watch me jump for my first time. And when I came down, he said, would you do it again? I said, I'd do it right now. And he said, well, I think I want to go. I said, well, let's sign you up. And he said, I kind of need to wrap my head around it. So we waited a little while, and he said, I think I'm ready. I said, okay, well, let's go. And he picked me up in his truck, and my grandmother ran outside and said, I better kiss him just in case he doesn't come back. And he's 84 now, and he said that's one of the best experiences he's ever had. So I was glad to share it with him. And I was glad to be able to gift it to him for his 70th birthday.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I think I would jump out of a plane. I don't know why, but I think I would do it anyways. So, Wesley, how did you? You're a big game hunter. Now, where's the most recent place you've been to for hunting?
I was in Alberta last year for elk, and I have a guide that I've hunted with pretty extensively, and we were successful. Killed a Boone and Crockett quality elk. Very happy. That was last fall.
That's last fall.
Yeah.
And I do you still have, or I understand that you used to have a lot of skins and heads and
We
this
have
type
a lot
thing.
of taxidermy throughout the house.
Yes.
When we bought our house, that was one of my concerns when I looked at the house. Could I put my animals in there? And we do. We have.
And Angie picked out a house that she would say, yes, let's bring them on.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
That's
She
cool. Now, Angie has been on some of these trips, right?
Yes, she prefers where she can go. She prefers Africa. She likes it not to be too cold. Most of the time we hunted there has been in their winter, but it warms up nice during the day. But she likes. She just doesn't want to do the mountain hunting where you don't get the 3-star service. The African hunts cater a little more to everyday needs.
Oh, I see. All right. Well, that sounds pretty cool, and that's pretty neat. Now, what was the best hunt you ever were on? As far as, is there one that stands out in your memory?
Yes, one in Namibia, Africa, is kind of a tie. I was on an elephant hunt there, and ended up with 2 elephant. One I thought I would never get a shot at, a desert elephant, and the other was my biggest brown bear in Alaska. That's my top 2 is kind of a tie. They both get a gold medal. So.
What'd you do with the brown bear? Did you stand it up? Is it
Nope,
standing in your house?
He's in my what we call our bourbon room, and he is in front of a display of about 40 bottles of nice bourbon.
He's protecting them.
He's protecting the bourbon. That is correct.
That's great. That's great. So, so what made you get into collecting bourbon?
Well, I like my choice of words. I'm gonna blame Tom. We met when he graduated from college. He went to work. We worked together. Got to be good friends, and we started. He actually brought it up about Pappy Van Winkle, the rarity of it. We started looking into it, and it is hard to come by. And then he found out his wife was pregnant. They were going to be having a little girl, and he wanted a bottle of 23 Pappy Van Winkle, means aged 23 years. He wanted that for her wedding. So that kind of launched us into the search for rare and hard to come by bourbon.
Now, Tom, why would the thought of having, you haven't even had this child yet, why would you think, oh my God, we got to get the bourbon?
Well, it was my wife and I were at the doctor, and we were going to find out what we were going to have, and we were both excited. We just wanted to make sure the child was healthy. And when the doctor told us we were having a girl, I was excited, but then at the same time, it hit me like a ton of bricks that one day this little girl that I'd never met, I was going to have to give her away at her wedding and have our father-daughter dance. And it shook me. It tore me up. That this little person that was growing in my wife's stomach, I was going to have to give her up one day. And from there it was, well, if we're going to do this, we need to have something good to drink. So I mentioned to Wesley, and we started looking, and we came across a bottle. So.
That's pretty cool. Have you showed it to your daughter? That's what I want to know. Does she know this bottle will be broken only when you get married?
I have, and it's only been recently. We recently redid our kitchen, so that kind of made me move the bourbon around and shuffle some things to make sure. And I've got a bottle set aside for her, and I showed her, and I told her how much it was worth, and her eyes got really big. And then my son immediately asked, well, what about me? And I said, well, this one's yours, and I've got a bottle of 20 for him. So he was excited about that. As long as he was covered, he was happy. But,
he was happy.
Yeah, I've got 2 amazing kids, and they were just, thrilled to have anything. So.
That's cool. That's cool. Now, is it better, Wesley, the longer it keeps aging, and after you've put it like a 23, does it stay a 23 or does it keep aging? I don't know.
Once they take it out of the barrel and put it in the bottle, that's the aging process stops. It, as long as it's in the barrel, it continues. Everybody's palate is a little different. Some people like some that's 8 years old. Usually, I think what we found in the Pappy Van Winkle from Buffalo Trace, you can get a 10-year, 12-year, 15, 20, and 23. That's pretty much your standard years of aging. All of it is, we think, is really good. 15 as an overall consensus is probably what you'd call your sweet spot. Everybody kind of likes that one, no matter what. And the 23, if you get all the way to 23, it has a little different taste, and I think it's more, the longer they age, it's more of an acquired taste. Mm-hmm. So the minute it comes out of the barrel, it stops aging. So if you've got a 23 and you keep it 10 years, it's not a 33, it's still a 23.
Okay, all right, that was my question.
Yeah.
Now, you are doing this for bourbon, blues, and barbecue, and boots. What is it? It is the three B's here. We've got bourbon, we've got blues, bourbon, and boots. That's the proper order
Correct.
of this. And you are going to be doing this along with E.G. Kight. You will be at the Inn on the Square. It is on the 12th. You're going to be pouring shots, I understand, for this, and you're going to have quite a variety. What can you tell us about what's going to be happening at the event?
Okay, this is the Greenwood Performing Arts fundraiser. Mm-hmm. We provide the bourbon. They sell tickets. Each ticket you buy a 1 ounce pour. You can buy 1 ounce or 2 ounces. Just they have the prices listed. You buy the tickets from them. Come to us. Show us your ticket. You pick out whether you want a 10-year, a 12-year, a 15. I'm guessing we'll have 10 or 12 different bottles. We should have all of the Pappy Van Winkle. That's usually a kind of a center point, highlight, whatever you want to call it. You pick out what you want. We will have a description of what each bottle contains and the different flavors and tones you should taste. Everybody's palate's a little different. Some people say, yes, I do taste pecans and almonds in it. It all comes from the oak barrel. And we make the pours. Everybody sits, talks. If anybody has any questions, we try to educate them. I think we're gonna have all the Pappies. We will have a rye, a 13-year rye from Buffalo Trace Van Winkle. We had a Jefferson 18.
We had an 18 and a 25 last year.
Yeah.
Yes.
We sold a little bit of that. I think we had an Elijah Craig 18-year. We're going to have some different stuff this year. Currently, I did not know about this and the rarity of it. I've kind of started looking in the last month for King of Kentucky. It's another rare bourbon. I've never had it, never tried it. Mm-hmm. But that's kind of my next little white whale, so to speak, for us to look for.
That's cool. Now, is the price the same on the pour regardless of what you get?
No, each year there'll be a list. There'll be a menu you can choose from. The 10 will be your most reasonably priced, and up to the 23, that'll be more of the higher price. But it's a chance for people, instead of going out and buying a very expensive bottle or finding one on the secondary market, if they want to say, this is something I want to try, you buy a 1 ounce pour, you support the Greenwood Performing Arts, and you get to do it, and you don't have to invest in a whole bottle. So,
how much does a bottle of Pappy Van Winkle 23 cost in today's world?
I think in today's world, I'm going to give you a range.
Right.
I think you would be extremely lucky to find it for $3,500.
Correct, yeah.
And I think it would go upwards of, in some markets, I'm sure it's $6,000.
Yeah, $6,000
for that bottle right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
And you drink it?
Sparingly. Sparingly.
yes.
How many 1 ounce pours are in there?
On average, all bottles should have this same amount, 750 milliliter size bottles like these. You can usually get, I think it's 24 1 ounce pours,
24.
and there's a little bit left.
Okay.
That I think, at the end, the owner should get that. Everyone who owns it should get that. But that's about 24.
About 24. Okay. Now, how did you get into this? You were telling me a story about going to Atlanta.
We went to a very high-end tasting in Atlanta. They offered tickets. My wife found out about them. And I think the name of the bar was the Pinewood. She asked me, would I be interested? And I was like, yeah. And I asked Tom, and that was part of our Christmas that year. And I think it was in a January, February time frame.
I believe so, yeah.
They one man committed. He gets 300 bottles of different Van Winkle years every year, and he puts them up for this. They sell the tickets. They have 300 plus bottles. You get a 7-course meal. Each course comes with a different year bourbon paired with it. So, and at the end of the evening, at the end of the meal, they have an auction. So every how many people, let's just say they sold, and I'm sure it had to be 300 tickets. At the end of the meal, 300 people had 7 1 ounce drinks of Buffalo Trace
Yeah,
Van
I'll take
Winkle.
it.
The auction got pretty hot and heavy after that.
Right.
And in Atlanta, this was all to raise money for the homeless in Atlanta. We actually met the man that donated the Van Winkle, and we got to talking to him, and he invited us to his store the next day, and we went over, and in his back room, he had some pretty extraordinarily rare bourbons. Right. He had bourbons that had been bottled on leap years and
Leap Day, yeah.
Yeah, Leap Day. Just some really odd stuff. He was really nice. And we met some really neat people there, and we were exposed to bourbons that we had never seen. And while we were there that night, after the meal, we decided we would try some of these bourbons we may never get to see again.
Right.
So, and we participated in the auction, so.
That's cool. Now, what can you tell us about bourbon as far as some of the history of bourbon? I mean, we all think of Kentucky, I think, when we talk about bourbon. So What can you tell us?
I'm going to give you, I made a couple of notes here. I'm going to give you the 5 rules of bourbon.
The 5 rules of bourbon, okay.
First, it has to be made in the USA. Number 2, when it's cooked, formulated, 51% of it has to be corn in the mash bill. This is when they start the cooking process. Number 3, it has to be aged in a brand new charred oak barrel. 4, when it is put in the barrel, it has a maximum of 125 proof, and when it's bottled, it has a minimum of 80 proof.
So it reduces? It reduces in proof?
It does.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize
as it
that.
ages. And number 5, no artificial color or flavors. Now, when we did one of the tours, the man that was doing the tour at Buffalo Trace was the oldest employee at the time of Buffalo Trace. He took over the mantle from his father when he retired, and he told us that once the liquor is cooked off and it goes in an oak barrel, it can sit in there 23 years, it can sit in there 23 minutes. It's considered bourbon. Now, when it goes in, and if it's set in there for 23 minutes, it's ultra clear, and I don't think I would want to drink that. That would be pretty stout. But nonetheless, it still is considered bourbon.
Okay.
So, and you were talking about the beginnings of it. I'm going to tell you, I've read several books, done some research. George Garvin Brown is considered the father of bourbon. He distilled his first in 1870. And kind of his claim to fame was everybody liked his bourbon locally, and he started getting well-known physicians to prescribe it for its healing properties.
Well, that was a business idea. That was a money-making idea. Cha-ching.
It was. And I think some of his original recipes and stuff are incorporated with the Old Forester. I think I'm not 100% sure.
That's right. Old
Yeah.
Forester.
Is it okay?
Yeah, Forester was a physician in the Civil War, and he extremely well known. So for the time.
The the recipes at all these places are just it's highly guarded. Nobody
They don't give
knows
you the recipe and say no.
no. But it's pretty well kept secret.
Now, what's the difference between a bottle that's been a bourbon batch that's been in there for 5 years versus 20 years?
The longer it stays, the more it reacts with the oak, the tannins in the oak, and it depends on the barrel maker too. Certain distilleries buy their barrels from only certain places because they want to maintain a flavor profile. And the longer it stays in, the more of the tannins and flavors leach out of the oak into the alcohol. And you see you've got different variations in color here.
Right.
Again, it just depends on what your palate likes. So, but that's staying in the barrel is how it gets its flavors.
Okay. What's the oldest that stays? What's the longest something stays in the barrel, or is there a limit?
I don't think there is a limit. I've heard of, 45-year bourbons that, are super, super rare. I mean, they bottled, 100 of them and, things like that. But I'm not sure if there's a limit.
I know the longer it stays, the less you can get out of the barrel.
Evaporation.
Evaporation. And when you buy a barrel, they tell you how long you leave it. When we open it and what comes out, we don't guarantee you X amount of bottles.
So, do you own a barrel?
Yes, I do. I own a barrel at Buffalo Trace.
Right.
You're making me do math. I think it's at the 7.5-year mark. 2 years ago, I got a tasting of it, 5 years, and I took it to a local card games guys that I know really like bourbon, and we tasted it, and they were all very well pleased with it. But it stays there, and when you call them up and tell them I'm ready for you to bottle mine, and
so you don't have the barrel sitting at home?
No.
I was thinking it was at home.
No,
we had the barrel at home.
Buffalo Trace. It is in their they call their rick house where the barrels are, and they move it periodically. They turn them, and mine's in there with my name on it. I don't know how long. As close as we are with Tom and his family, when he opens his 23, I may have a bottle out of my barrel. So.
Right.
We never know when that'll be.
No, we don't.
That's pretty cool. So how much do you get out of a barrel? Roughly.
I'd say on a 15-year age, what Freddie Johnson told us at Buffalo Trace, I think you can figure between 45 and 50 bottles. 750 milliliter bottles.
Wow.
And if you own your barrel, you can design your own label.
Right.
And put on there, and it's yours. So.
Oh, okay. So have you thought about that yet?
No, I have not.
Well, Angie's real good at doing labels and stuff.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
So maybe she'll do one. Anyways, we are here with Tom Dorn and Wesley Timmerman. They are bourbon connoisseurs. They are both going to be at the GPA Greenwood Performing Arts fundraiser. They'll be pouring out tastes of 1 ounce pours of bourbon. And it's going to be an interesting night. It was interesting when they did it last year. You've got to come out and be part of this. It's really going to be a lot of fun. I did want to tell you what they're going to have at this. Lisa Sanders sent me a list. I can't even say some of the words, but we'll try. You're going to have heavy appetizers, including sweet corn fritters with avocado salsa, bacon-wrapped shrimp, Hatch chili ranch dip, smoked tree tip tacos, with caramelized onions and cilantro crema, and browned butter and bourbon blondies. So that's the list of appetizers here tonight. I will be, well, not tonight, but on March 12th, I will be taking Pepsid AC. Just FYI. But anyways, and so high-end bourbons for the one included, and then premium flight available for purchase in 1 or 2 ounce pours, including the Pappy Van Winkle. Now, what was the response when you did this last year at the GPA Bourbon and Blues?
I thought it was very good. I thought the turnout was good. I think it's going to grow. I would bet it would double this year. I think the response to the bourbons, there was a lot of curiosity, a lot of people wanting to learn about it. I think one of my takeaways from it was I'm not a rye bourbon drinker, and we had a bottle of rye. It was one of, like I said, one of the bottles we sold out, and I was really shocked at that a lot of people liked the rye. That was kind of new to me. I would encourage everybody this year, even though we have the Pappy Van Winkle, to try some of the other stuff too. What was your? That was my takeaway. What was your?
Yeah. Well, and you had people that, had always heard about it, had never seen it, and they had an opportunity to taste it, and they were not let down. They were extremely excited. There was a father and son. They were able to drink together, and I think the father said to us, "We never thought we'd be able to taste this, and let alone in Greenwood." So. Again, being able to spread that through, locally, it's.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Well, it's an experience. That's what Greenwood Performing Arts is known for, is bringing experiences. Bourbon and blues and boots is just a perfect combination. And we must not forget they are going to have cigars out on the veranda. So you'll be able to have your cigar and bourbon too, I guess, yes? And
Correct.
A whole evening. So, Tom, what do you think about, what's your experience with bourbons? Have you been on a lot of these bourbon tasting trails and done all that?
Wesley and I went to the tasting at the in Atlanta, which was extremely, it was wonderful. We got to have some great food. Met a lot of great people, interesting people. I've been to a few tastings in Colombia, gotten invited to. That was probably the most high-end one I've been to. As far as going to Kentucky, I'd love to go. Just hadn't had an opportunity. Again, with the 2 small kids, it's hard to kind of get away. But no, I've got a buddies I went to college with. They'll, hey, I found this bottle. Why don't we taste it? And different things like that. But yeah, that's pretty much.
It's a real appreciation, isn't it?
It is. And it's, you get to talk, you get to, just interact with other people, and share. I'm not going to say a passion, because then I'd be an alcoholic, but but you just get to kick back and relax and just enjoy some fellowship with other people.
I think that Lisa and I did the ad, and I said it's kind of like an old-fashioned speakeasy. The idea
Similar.
with a twist,
Right.
here. The idea of sitting down and just having a drink and having, if you want a cigar, you can have a cigar, but just the idea of being able to talk to people, not through their phones, right?
Right.
That's important, I think. We've lost the art of that.
Well, that last year, I can say we saw very few people sitting at the table waiting on their food to come, looking at their phone.
Exactly.
Everybody was talking, interacting, having a good time,
and enjoying the atmosphere with the
Yep.
music, and again, just it's a beautiful spot. So
Absolutely. And this year it's going to be last year it was at over there on Maxwell. This year it is going to be at the Inn on the Square, so it's going to be a lovely event right there. Plenty of room, but tickets, I understand, are selling, and if you want tickets, you need to go to greenwoodperformingarts.org. That's greenwoodperformingarts.org. or you can go by the Art Center and pick your tickets up there. If you've got a question for Wesley or Tom while we're on the air, 864-332-9355, 864-332-9355. That's what we're doing. We're going to hear a quick word from our sponsors, and we will be right back right here on WCRS with Wesley Timmerman and with Tom Dorn, and I am Ann Eller. Let's take a little break. We'll be right back. This is WCRS Radio. Where is it at? Here it is.
It is time to reserve your tickets to the Museum Kentucky Derby Party. It's a signature event, not to be missed. Reserve your tickets by February 28th and save $20 per ticket. Date May 2nd, 5 p.m. at the museum with hat contests, games, bourbon tasting, and more. Get your tickets today. Call the museum, 864-229-7093. Yes, we're off to the races. See you there. Call today, 864-229-7093.
Trashy Lake Greenwood or pristine Lake Greenwood? The choice is yours, Greenwood. Your opportunity to keep Lake Greenwood beautiful is in your hands. Join us on Saturday, March 14th for the really big annual Lake Greenwood cleanup. Donate yours and your family's time. All supplies provided for the cleanup, and yes, there is a free lunch. When? Saturday, March 14th, 9 to 12. Register at our Facebook page, Keep Greenwood County Beautiful, or our website, keepgcb.com. Free lunch provided by Break on the Lake, Papa John's, Chick-fil-A, and Pepsi of Greenville. Be the solution, Greenwood, not the pollution.
Are you the owner of or have an interest in real estate, whether a house or open farmland, along with multiple people who have not helped you pay any property tax or assisted in maintaining the property in 10 years or more? Maybe the property is listed in the names of deceased grandparents and other family members ignore your pleas for assistance in maintaining the property. The law office of Randall Roselle Williams can help relieve the burden of carrying the load by yourself and obtain the fairness that you deserve. I can help you place the title to your property in the names of the proper person or person. The success of each case is dependent, however, upon the facts unique to your situation. Call me, Randall Roselle Williams, at 864-227-9156 to schedule an appointment to discuss your case. The law office of Randall Roselle Williams is a solo practice located at 110 Riley Avenue, Greenwood.
Hello, this is Lisa with Greenwood Performing Arts, the only organization bringing you experiences like no other. Join us on Thursday, March the 12th at the Inn on the Square for our highly anticipated Bourbon, Boots, and Blues. Doors open at 6 o'clock with appetizers and special bourbon tasting by Bourbon Connoisseur Wesley Timmerman and friends, all while enjoying the bluesy tunes of E.G. Kight and Band. And don't forget, Clubhouse Cigars will be on the veranda. It will be an experience reminiscent of a speakeasy with a modern twist. Limited tickets are available by going online at greenwoodperformingarts.org or in person at the Art Center. A special thanks to our season sponsor, Lakeland's Plastic Surgery, and our event sponsors, Davis & Floyd, the County Bank, and Deals Heating and Air. See you there, and you can wear your boots. Hello, this is Lisa with Greenwood Performing Arts, the only organization bringing you experiences like... 1, 2, 3,
Well, that's right. We are right here at WCRS Radio. I am Ann Eller, and I'm in the company of two good-looking guys right here who happen to be bourbon connoisseurs. What could be better than that, folks? I tell you what, if you want to see them and you want to know more about bourbon, then you're going to have to come to the Bourbon Blues and Boots at the Inn on the Square on March 12th, and come and have a good time with us. There's just a few tickets left. You can imagine this is a very popular event, so get your tickets today by going to greenwoodperformingarts.org, or you can go by the Art Center and buy them right there. So let's talk some more with Tom Dorn and with Wesley Timmerman. They are excited about the bourbon tasting. So we've got this bourbon tasting. How many types of bourbon do you think you'll have there, roughly?
Well, we should have 10 to 12 different bottles. Like I said, all of the Buffalo Trace Van Winkle family should be there in the bottles, and we should have some Elijah Craig, Jefferson 18 and 20 year, and a couple of different other ones I can't recall off the top of my head, but it'll be a lineup that most people will not encounter commonly.
Well, that's I think that will be pretty darn cool. So, are you excited about this, Wesley?
Oh yes, we thoroughly enjoyed it last year. We met some great people. Everybody had a good time. I think both of us agree we enjoy giving back, and through the Greenwood Performing Arts, supporting that, it's a good thing. And well, we hope our wives and everybody else enjoy it too. But I feel like they will. They did last year. So.
That's right. Well, if you missed the first part of the show, we had E.G. Kight with us on the show. She and her trio will be playing some great bluesy music. I tell you what, if you do not know that much about E.G. Kight, she is quite a talent. She is an American Chicago blues singer, guitarist, and songwriter. She's worked with many musicians. I was surprised to see how many different musicians she has worked with, anywhere from George Jones, Jerry Lee Lewis, Conway Twitty, Merle Haggard, Luther Allison, Pinetop Perkins, Coco Taylor. I mean, she has really been a force out there, and she is coming on March 12th right there to the Inn on the Square. So get your tickets. You'll be glad you did. It's really going to be a fun night, and it is, as Wesley said, a fundraiser for Greenwood Performing Arts. So, are you looking for anything special right now in bourbons? Are you on the hunt for any particular bourbons?
One came I learned about in the last month, and I've kind of started looking, and it's King of Kentucky. They have a very limited release every year. Each year is they all have a little different taste to them. Supposedly, I have never had it, but that is currently what I'll call our white whale we're looking for.
How expensive is that one?
I think if you could be lucky enough to find it on the shelf, it's about a $500 bottle on the shelf. On the secondary market, it's anywhere from $1,000 to $6,500.
Why is it so much more?
Secondary market, they highlight the good years. For some reason, I think it's 2016. That particular run is just exceptional, and people just go crazy over it. Hence, the price goes up. The secondary market, I really can't explain it, but it's
very close to baseball cards. Let's just say if you buy a pack of baseball cards and pull $1,000 card, you've only paid $5 for it. Whereas if you have to buy it off of eBay, you're going to pay $1,000. So that's very much similar to bourbon,
yeah.
To where it's just sold on the secondary market. There's more of a price drive for it, so to speak.
Right. Okay. And are they still producing it?
Yes. They release it every year. Like I said, there's tons of bourbon made, and it's just one that I learned about, and I just kind of decided, well, I would like to try it.
Have you had a pour of it?
No, I have not tasted it.
You have not tasted it.
I am solely going on what recommendations I have seen and read.
Okay. And you're going to go ahead and buy a whole bottle if you can find
Well,
it.
we would like to find one.
Yes. It's always good
Wants
to have
and
something.
needs are always different.
Yes.
you know?
Well, it's always good to have something to aspire to, right?
Correct.
Yes. All right. Well, we are about ready to finish up here today. Tom, is there anything else you'd like people to know that maybe we haven't discussed here this afternoon?
No, ma'am. I think you've covered it. Like I said, come out and have a good time. We had an exceptional time last year, and again, just seeing everybody interact with the live music, the drinks, the food, everything was great. And again, you're helping out the fine arts, and I think that's a noble cause. You're supporting local. So
That's right. So come on out on March 12th. The doors open at 6. The entertainment and everything, I believe, is starting around 7. So you're going to have a great night there. Be there and enjoy. Get your tickets at greenwoodperformingarts.org or at the Arts Center right there. You just walk in and you can purchase your tickets right there. Wesley, what do you want to say to close it out?
I want everybody to come out, have a good time, support the arts. We're going to do our part. If you're a first-time bourbon drinker or a long-time bourbon drinker, come out. Hopefully we can serve you up something you enjoy, and we'll talk about it and show you some new stuff.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm going to be there. They're going to be there. Are you going to be there, Greenwood? That is the question. I'm Ann Eller, and I really want to say a very special thanks to E.G. Kight for calling us in. I think she was in Chattanooga. And to Wesley, Timmerman, and Tom Dorn, thank you for coming out and being the Bourbon Connoisseurs this afternoon right here on WCRS. We're going to drop the curtain. This will be available right here on Facebook for 30 days. By the first of the week, it will be on our website for perpetuity. You will not be able to escape it, guys. It will be there on our website, WCRS1450am.net. So let's take it away. Let's cue the music. Everybody have a good night. I'll be back in the morning right here on WCRS. Bye-bye, everybody.